Unfortunately, Week 7 of the 2024 NFL season was marred by a brutal number of injuries to notable names.
Brandon Ayuk is done for the year with a torn ACL.
Here's to hoping for a better week of football in terms of player health and game quality. But with that being said, how about we dive into our Week 8 editions of the 2024 NFL Power Rankings. Number 32, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 32. The Pats showed a little fight in their ugly 32-16 loss to the equally struggling Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Drake May had 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions, but the Patriots defense did him absolutely no favors by making Trevor Lawrence look like a $275 million man. Number 31, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 31. Jaden Daniels left Sunday's game early with a rib injury, and the Commanders still crushed Carolina 40-7 without their superstar rookie signal caller. The Panthers made Marcus Mariota look like a pro bowler while also giving up 214 yards on the ground. With the game out of reach, Bryce Young returned to attempt 2 passes in garbage time. Yay? Number 30, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 29. The Titans defense was overmatched by Josh Allen and his improved receiving core that added Amari Cooper days before the game. The Titans' upcoming schedule does them absolutely no favors, so they have a golden opportunity to tank and just put themselves in the driver's seat for the top pick. Number 29, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 28. Let's see. Browns fans booed Deshaun Watson during pre-game intros, then cheered when he suffered a season-ending Achilles tear. Oh, and the Browns fell 21-14 to the Bengals to fall to 1-6 on the season. Did we mention that the Guardians were eliminated by the Yankees in the ALCS?
Our main export is crippling depression.
Number 28, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 30. Hope Jaguars fans enjoyed that win over the hapless Patriots because there is little reason to believe that they'll win a game before December. Their next 5 opponents are the Packers, Eagles, Vikings, Lions, and Texans, aka all Super Bowl hopefuls. Number 27, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 26. The Raiders lost a very winnable game against a banged-up Rams team by a final score of 20-15. Can the Raiders out-tank the others to get Travis Hunter or a QB like Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, or Shedeur Sanders? Well, stay tuned. Number 26, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 25. Daniel Jones was mercilessly benched in favor of Drew Lock, and old friend Saquon Barkley got another laugh on his old team by putting up 176 rushing yards and a touchdown in the Eagles' 28-3 beatdown of their arch rivals. Looking at the rest of the Giants' schedule, we have a hard time believing that they'll finish with more than 5 wins this year. Number 25, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 24. Alright, well, this season's over. Hard to remember that these guys were once 2-0 at one point. This aging and underperforming roster is too banged up and doesn't have enough depth to compete. Dennis Allen isn't qualified to be a head coach. Mickey Loomis needs to look up rebuild in a dictionary. Number 24, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 27. Sean McVay's squad just barely squeaked out a 20-15 home win over the Raiders to move to 2-4. Kupp is set to return for Thursday night against the Minnesota Vikings. So if the Rams can somehow pull off the upset, the Rams are suddenly 3-4 and very much alive in the wildcard race with Nakua's return just around the corner. Number 23, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 22. Devontae Adams' debut with the Jets was a bigger dud than the Jaws sequels. Sitting at 2-5, the Jets realistically have to finish 8-2 to make the postseason. Why does something tell us that that's probably not going to happen? Number 22, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 20. How do Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle each finish with only 1 catch? Seriously, how is that possible? The 2-4 Dolphins are on life support now. They cannot get Tua back quick enough.
Will you wear a Guardian cap?
Nope.
Why?
Personal choice.
Number 21, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 23. The Cardinals saved their season, for now at least, with a gutsy 17-15 home victory over Justin Herbert's Los Angeles Chargers. Arizona has some things to clean up on offense if they're to compete for a playoff spot, but they're not quite done just yet. Number 20, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 21. The Bengals escaped Cleveland with a 21-14 road win. Hard as it is to believe, but Cincinnati is just 1 game out of the final wildcard spot in the AFC. Burrow's group has a knack for turning it on in the second half, so even with a tough schedule looming, we caution you to think twice about ruling these guys out. Number 19, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 60. Count on Jerry Jones to make significant headlines during Dallas's bye week, in this case, threatening to fire Cowboys radio hosts whose station and employees he doesn't actually own.
My job is to ask
why.
why.
Get a job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man. I'm not kidding you.
I'm not kidding you.
They're just a dumpster fire. Number 18, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 13. Brandon Ayuk is done for the year after tearing his ACL in the loss to Kansas City. We still don't know when Christian McCaffrey is returning. Deebo Samuel missed most of Week 7 with an illness. The defense has been a letdown without Dre Greenlaw and Javon Hargrave. Just gotta wonder if the amount of injuries to star players has finally caught up to Kyle Shanahan's group. Number 17, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 15. Jim Harbaugh's Chargers followed up a big-time road win in Denver by dropping a low-scoring affair to Kyler Murray's Cardinals on Monday night. The Bolts have now lost 3 of their last 4 games following a 2-0 start. So, why aren't we panicking yet? Well, you see, the Saints, Browns, and Titans make up their next 3 games. Number 16, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 18. Sean Payton's return to the Superdome couldn't have gone better for the Broncos. They made easy work of a banged-up and Derek Carr's Saints team in prime time to move to 4-3 on the year. Broncos get the Panthers at home before back-to-back road games against the Chiefs and Ravens, so buckle up. Number 15, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 17. The Colts should have beaten Miami by more than 6 points, but Shane Steichen's injury-riddled group will take a win however they can. I mean, come on, style points aren't a thing in the NFL after all. Don't look now, but a road win over Houston on Sunday puts Indy in a tie for first in the AFC South. Number 14, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 12. No team had a worse Week 7 than the Bucs. They lost their 2 superstar wideouts in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin to injury. Losing those 2 alone was worse than losing 41-31 to the Red Hot Ravens. And just like that, Tampa's season is already on thin ice. Number 13, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 14. The surging Bears are on a bye week following their blowout win over the Jaguars in London. With 6 divisional games still ahead, they ought to take advantage of an easy schedule after visiting Washington this week. Number 12, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 19. The Seahawks got a big-time bounce-back win in Atlanta on Sunday afternoon, crushing Kirk Cousins and the surging Falcons by 20 points on their own turf. That was a much-needed confidence booster for a Hawks team that had allowed 29-plus points in each game during their losing skid. Number 11, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 7. Atlanta was riding a 3-game winning streak and had the chance to increase their lead on the NFC South, but Raheem Morris's crew didn't show up on either side of the ball in a very gross 20-point loss. The Falcons can put themselves in the driver's seat for the division if they beat Tampa on Sunday. Number 10, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 11. Saquon Barkley's return to New York was practically perfect, if you're on the Eagles side. He had his signature Saquon game and led Philly to a blowout win over the arch-enemy team. With A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith healthy, the Eagles are looking more like the 2022 squad than last year's second-half disaster. Number 9, Washington Commanders. Last time's ranking, 10. No Jaden Daniels for most of the game? Hey, no problem. Marcus Mariota was almost flawless in relief of the rookie QB, leading the Seas to their 5th victory in 6. I think it's time to buy the hype now. Number 8, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 9. Russell Wilson's long-awaited Steelers debut exceeded expectations alright. The 5-2 Steelers have stability at QB to complement a top-5 defense. If Wilson's Week 7 performance wasn't a mirage, then hey, these Steelers are a bona fide Super Bowl contender in this very crowded AFC. Number 7, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 4. The Texans brought their C- game into Green Bay on Sunday and still only lost on a last-second field goal. We understand the frustration of Houston fans, but there's no shame in losing to an unfamiliar opponent and title contender on the road. Number 6, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 8. Josh Allen and the Bills did what was expected of them: humiliate the Titans in front of Bills Mafia to move to 5-2 on the year. The Jets and Dolphins also lost, meaning the Bills have the AFC East locked up as long as they don't suffer a historic collapse. Number 5, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 6. Fortunately for Jordan Love, that defense held CJ Stroud's high-powered machine to just 197 yards in a nail-biting 24-22 victory. The 5-2 Packers looked every bit like a Super Bowl contender. Number 4, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 5. The Ravens overcame a sluggish first quarter and dropped 41 points on a dangerous Tampa Bay team to pick up their 5th straight win. This just in, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are really freaking good together. Number 3, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 2. We refuse to harp too much on a 5-win team that lost to the NFC's most talented team on a late field goal. Kevin O'Connell's group had to drop one eventually. It just so happened to be against a division rival in Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions. The Vikings are still a force to be reckoned with on both sides. Number 2, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 3. Jared Goff put together another MVP-like performance, and Jake Bates made the game-winning field goal in the final seconds to hand Minnesota their first loss of 2024. Another statement win by Dan Campbell's group, taking down the NFC's best team on the road without bringing their A-game. Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 1. The Chiefs slugged out a 10-point victory over the 49ers in a Super Bowl 58 rematch. With every other AFC team logging at least 2 losses, it looks like the road to the Super Bowl will again run through Arrowhead. But who do you think is the NFL's team to beat heading into Week 8? Let us know in the comment section below. And hey, if you like this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.